contingency oriented.
There we go. All right, we're hot, and the numbers are going up this time.
Are you sure we're recording?
The numbers are going up this time.
I don't want to spit straight knowledge like I did last time and none of it get recorded.
So, man, y'all don't know what you missed out on last time.
I don't know what they missed out on.
I can't. Welcome to ShiftLess, episode 130, the podcast only about cycling and bicycles and everything velo related. And it's official. Pinarello is in the drop bar mountain bike scene now.
And in the same news, drop bars are no longer allowed at Leadville
or Little Sugar.
Little Sugar, yeah. Which I still don't understand that. As drop bar mountain bikes gain traction, they're losing the ability to be entered into races. I feel like there's more turbulence behind all of that.
Or is it just controversy just for the sake of attention?
You know, all news, what is it? All
news is good news. All press is good press, or something like that.
All press is good press. Man, we mentioned this earlier when we were driving around scouting, but I can't help but think that if Specialized announced a drop bar mountain bike to be released that was a regular release, that we would still be having this conversation. Or maybe we would, because didn't Trek drop a drop bar mountain bike? And I don't mean that as a play on words.
I think they have a drop bar oversized wheel, and isn't it kind of bike packing? I don't know.
No, it's definitely not a race bike.
It wasn't a race bike, right? So
let's see.
What the Trek check through or something like that.
That was the one that had the racks on it, though, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I know.
I'm just going to look up Trek.
Episode 130. It's fair to say not brought to you by Trek
or Specialized or Pinarello. I would love to be brought to you by Pinarello.
I would rock the hell out of that thing.
100%. The Checkout. That's
Checkout.
What you're thinking about.
Okay.
That's a gravel bike. They're calling it a gravel bike.
But it does 2-inch tires, right?
Probably. It's yeah. I mean, it looks like I'm not pulling up the specs.
I understand. Yeah. I'm not up to speed on everything Trek, but yeah, I mean, the initial pushback from a lot of folks is that it's very UCI, Lifetime's approach to stuff like this, but is that necessarily accidental? I think it's probably a parallel that they're pursuing, quite frankly, in one form or fashion.
There's definitely something behind the scenes going on.
Well, there's always something behind the scenes with UCI with what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. That brings us back to 32 inchers. Like, I wonder what it's going to take. Like, what's going to be the acceptance from an organizational standpoint? Is there a letter of the law that states that you can't use a wheel bigger than 29 inches in?
But UCI has already said that 32-inch will be acceptable.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that news.
Yeah, that was last month somewhere along the way.
Wonder how many caveats there are.
Well, that I don't know the specificity of it. And I think it was one that originally they said they weren't going to allow them and they reversed. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of that's testing the water.
Shiftlesslive@gmail.com. Tell us how stupid we are. We admit it. We're gonna
never get tired of reading this.
We're gonna bring on some smarter folks than us on some of these topics in the next couple of days. Did we hear anything back from our
host?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm sure.
I got faith.
I'm sure.
I got faith.
Yeah.
So, what I seem to remember is UCI made some sort of announcement that 32 inchers, maybe they didn't say they were banned, but that they hadn't made rules that allowed for them yet or something like that. And then like 2 days later, but now we do.
I feel like that was them testing the water. Like, hey, we're not going to deal with 32 inchers. And then I bet they got a lot of feedback. Like, why? It's the newest fastest growing segment in cycling.
They got a lot of feedback from a major bike manufacturer said, oh, yes, you are going to allow 32.
Yeah. And by the way, here's a sponsorship check. Yeah.
That's the way I believe.
Consumerism or classism?
Bradford and I have had many philosophical discussions today, and I swear there is no THC involved.
Negative. None. But this is interesting, just as a sidebar. I looked up Trek drop bar mountain bike, and on Trek's site, they denote drop bar gravel bikes, which seems redundant. Like, why do you need to feel the need to call it a drop bar gravel bike?
Because there are flat bar gravel bikes.
But
out
I would
there.
call that out. I would go
Understood.
flat bar gravel
Understood.
bike, but instead I would just say gravel bike because the notion is it's a drop bar.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're both in this boat. I've been a long time fan of the drop bar 2-inch plus bike as the ideal platform for so much.
I remember you saying it for years that we're going to level out. There's going to be this big swing, not even a big swing, but everybody's going to kind of settle out on 2.2 to 2.3 inch tires and gearing and drop bars and front suspension possibly and carbon construction. And, I can't remember all the parameters you laid out, but so far that crystal ball of yours has been cleaned.
But it's the right tool for the job is ultimately what it boils down to. But that's what creates the consternation, because the whole industry is built on everybody N+1ing all the time and having as many different variations of a bicycle as they can cram into their
consumerism,
their garage.
100%.
That's the whole business model right now. So they don't want people to have the one bike that does it all or does most of it all.
We need the next CD.
The CD turned into streaming, and then you own nothing.
Well,
then they take it away from you whenever they want to.
Yeah. They can't take my bikes away, can they? Come and take it.
Come and take it. And
we need a sticker like that has the yellow and it has a drop bar mountain bike on it. It just says "Come and take it." Trademark.
Episode 130 of Shiftless. I'm not. It'll probably come out post Texas Chainring Massacre, but I'm going to say brought to you by the Texas Chainring Massacre, where drop bar gravel bikes are allowed.
Encouraged, even.
They are encouraged. Drafting is allowed. Aero bars are allowed.
Wow.
Mass starts that combine men and women are allowed.
Holy shit. What about disc brakes?
Disc brakes are allowed, but you know what? Cantilever brakes are allowed as well.
Shit. So basically, everybody.
You know what's even allowed? No brakes.
Oh, fixies?
Fixies are allowed.
Are there events that fixies are not allowed? Like, you could take a fixie to Unbound, can't you?
You wouldn't be able to take a fixie to a UCI race.
No, it's true. But like all of the Lifetime Grand Prix races, you could feasibly enter a fixie.
I don't know that.
As long as it's not drop bar.
I don't know
Leadville.
that. As long as it's not drop bar at Leadville. I don't know that for a fact, though. They may have some obscure rule that does require a rear brake or something like that. I don't know.
The only time I've ever done Hotter Than Hell was on a fixie.
Poor bastard.
It was boring.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Understood.
But
my fixie fix lasted about 2 months. It's like, this doesn't do anything for me.
It's good stuff, but it's a different style of riding altogether. I mean, single speed versus multi-gear is a different style of riding.
Yep.
But as different as single speed is the multi-gear, fixie is the single speed, honestly. Because the braking, the acceleration, the tempo, everything is done through the input of your legs. It will definitely make you a stronger rider. It'll force you to become a better bike handler, or it'll make you have more road rash and scars and scabs.
That's a possibility.
But it's definitely a high learning curve. So that being said, my fixie's hanging on the wall probably hasn't been off the wall in 5 or 6 years. So I don't know. So Surly, we mentioned that they're getting rid of the Karate Monkey and I keep forgetting the other one that's very similar, but they're going to combine them. And I heard the working name that they have. It's going to be a Dreamcaster. Or no, wait, is it a Wizard? Something Wizard. Crap, I forgot now. Let me see. Maybe it's on the end.
I'm not even going to pretend to know what's going on there. But all right, so Surly is. You didn't figure. Did we figure out it was the Krampus or not?
I think it's the Krampus.
It is. So it's the Karate Monkey and the Krampus are being delisted, but they're still going to have what, a 29er or a plus bike, or what is it? or what is the basic platform that they're shooting for? Do we know?
I think they're just going to meld those two models together and put out one kind of Swiss Army mountain bike packing plus size, suspension corrected, rigid, initial setup. If you buy a complete, and then I think it's going to be, in my understanding, it's going to be very similar to the Karate Monkey at standard right now. Whereas if you buy a frame, it's a frame fork classic combo setup. But it's going to be 29 up to 3.0, I believe, front and rear.
Okay.
Plenty of attachments for bike packing. And then suspension corrected but spec'd with a rigid fork. I'm sure they'll probably have a complete model that you can buy with a suspension fork, but I don't know. It's a QBP house brand, so we'll see. I was trying to see if there was any buzz on the internets about, Karate Monkey. You can buy a full suspension or front suspension from them currently, so I imagine they'll continue that in the future.
So what does a Karate Monkey fully built go for these days?
With front suspension?
Either way.
$25.99 for full suspension.
Front suspension.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep seeing full suspension.
Is it a decent fork? Do we know?
That I don't know. It's out of stock. That helps.
Oh, okay.
Don't know.
So then you can't get it.
But you could.
You could have at one point.
Build kit. Let's see what the fork is. RockShox 35 Gold RL. I would consider that a decent fork. I'm not a RockShox fan, but
But it's not a 36, but it's not a 34.
Yeah.
So okay, definitely not a 32. So I think RL is a decent spec for OEM, if I remember correctly.
And a fully built rigid is $18.49, also out of stock. Like I said, they're purging their inventory.
Yeah. Yep.
So, let's see. I thought there would be some intel on here, but no.
So do we know when these new bikes are supposed to drop?
I do not.
Okay.
In fact, I don't even know that Surly has officially announced that they're getting rid of the Karate Monkey.
Now, they had a purge in personnel last year too, right? Didn't we set
QBP? Yeah.
Well, but Surly specifically, I think they lost a lot of their folks there, but maybe not. Maybe it was QBP generically. It'll be interesting to see what's coming. I don't think the cycling industry has hit the bottom yet, and also along those lines, like I've postulated a few times along the way, it does appear that some of that shutting down e-bike legislation is starting to come in from different governments throughout the land, and where they're taking the broad stroke approach as opposed to, well, let's make sure that these e-motorcycles aren't considered e-bikes anymore. No, we're just going to get rid of all the e-bikes. No e-bikes allowed. You have to have a helmet. You have to be licensed. You have to have insurance. If you ride an e-bike in New Jersey, that's the bill that's out there right now.
Yeah.
It's not law yet. But it looks like it's likely to be, and there definitely is a lot of other buzz in other municipalities, and again, it's there, as opposed to let's put together legislation that makes sense. But is hard to enforce. Well, we're just going to enforce everything, so ban it all.
This does say Surly Karate Monkey mountain bike discontinued.
Okay.
But I don't know if that means an older. No, that's the most recent color.
That's the most recent color.
I think that's the eggplant.
Yeah. So it's official that the K Monkey's discontinued. How about Krampus? Why don't you look that one up, see if that's officially discontinued as well. I think it's going to be an interesting sea otter this year, I guess is.
Yeah. Who do we think is going to debut 32-inch bikes?
I am leaning towards Specialized.
I hear that.
I am leaning, and where last week.
I think Specialized will be the biggest brand debuting 32 inches, but I also think Visago is going to put their 32 inch.
Well, again, I in my world, it doesn't count until one of the big three
Sure.
is the one to do it, because the three of them have 85% of the market is ultimately what it boils down to. Even the big ones in the also rans are still a pittance compared to them.
Sure.
Generally speaking. I mean, what BMC supposedly came out with a 32-inch bike last year that was on the trails in a prototype, but it, I don't think it's an official release yet or anything like that. And that was a full suspension 32, if I remember right. It'd be a good fit for Cannondale, to be honest with you. 32-inch with a lefty. I'd rock that.
Man, can you imagine the logistics of creating a lefty 32-inch? I think right now, from my understanding, I don't know if there's any 32-inch suspension forks, because I think the majority of the manufacturers, or I say manufacturers, but frame builders that are building 32 inches are building them off of suspension corrected 29-inch rigid forks. I think we talked about this.
We touched on it last week.
So it's a 470 axle to crown height is kind of this standard for 32-inch frames right now.
Yeah.
But I think those numbers are going to evolve and change, obviously.
And I think they did talk about that on that BMC, that it's on technically a 29er fork somehow.
What was this? A BMC 32-inch?
Yeah.
Didn't see that. I haven't seen even a clip or blip from that.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about it a while back. I think they were expecting it to show up on, and maybe that was the basis of that original UCI announcement about 32-inch bikes wouldn't be allowed, and then they reversed themselves. They were not going to allow it for BMC, but if somebody bigger in the mix changed their mind, then but I don't think it was going to be earth shattering. I think just BMC was going to be the first ones to put one out there, actually at the world racing level. I think, but I'm not positive of that. That's outside my realm. But
it's going to be interesting to watch. I think I've said that more than enough times. I'm glad that we don't have to talk about e-bikes incessantly. We have something new.
We have something more traditional, but still controversial to talk about.
Yeah.
But is it controversial? I'm really looking forward to hearing Austin's thoughts on this. I am, with all this stuff that's being bandied about banning drop bar mountain bikes at the lifetime level, and UCI allowing it, the 32s, it tells me there's going to be a 32-inch mountain bike at the top competitive levels in the near future. And
is it like NASCAR where they have to, or whoever, where it has to be a production model? They can't enter like
I can't
prototype or something like that.
I can't speak to that. I wouldn't think Lifetime would have any restrictions on that. I think ECI probably does have some sort of, it has to be available at a at a retail level.
That was the Le Mans deal where they had to produce at least 50 vehicles for public consumption like in order to enter it into the race.
Something similar along those lines. To the best of my knowledge, Lifetime doesn't have that much oomph yet.
Yeah.
And who knows that they ever would, so to speak. But if I guarantee you that they are, if a major manufacturer wants to persuade them, they could be persuaded fairly readily.
I don't doubt that. Big checks.
I still think the 32-inch gravel bike makes more sense short term than the 32-inch mountain bike.
I agree.
I thought it would be a couple years till the mountain bike hit the scene, but why are they making a big deal of no drop bar mountain bikes at Leadville? Why would they even do that to begin with?
Because Specialized doesn't make a drop bar mountain bike, and Keegan's on a drop bar. I mean, on a Specialized.
Oh, so we have to equalize for Keegan's sake. Is that?
That's my initial knee-jerk conspiracy thought.
Okay. I hadn't even thought about it from that perspective, but that makes sense. That actually does make sense.
I mean, I totally could be wrong, but I think
I like it.
If there's if there's behind the scenes puppeteering, I would
Oh,
say
no, I
that's
like that. That makes even more sense than mine, quite frankly. That makes all the sense in the world. Go simple.
because if Specialized had a production drop bar mountain bike, I don't think we'd be having that conversation. That's what I think I started with.
Did you say that earlier and I just missed it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're
That
okay.
makes all the sense in the world.
But then that's how we got on that. Well, Trek does make a drop bar, but it's a gravel bike, more of an
Right.
adventure bike. It's not even
Right.
what I would consider a race.
Right. That
Bike.
I agree with.
And it's definitely not a.
But man, wouldn't
drop
it be
bar
cool
mountain
to
bike.
see a true race drop bar mountain bike?
Yeah. I don't know that anybody, I mean, I guess Pinarello is the first, and I didn't even look at the specs on it, but I would imagine if Pinarello doesn't make a lot of mid-grade entry level bikes.
Right.
You know.
Right. So what they call theirs the MX Graville.
Oh, so it's basically a gravel
Well,
bike. Then.
but the MX is supposed to be, so it's mixed surface is
Okay.
is the intent.
Let me see.
And I think it's only $15,000. No, actually, no, it was 12.5 euros, whatever that works out. Might be 15. Well, then you got to throw tariffs on it. Okay, never mind. So, I think they call it the MX Graville,
Yeah.
but it's not.
It has a Fox suspension fork.
Oh,
and a mountain bike head angle with the Dogma integrated handlebar. And it says on its latest gravel machine.
Yes, it was released as a mixed surface / gravel. It was not released to be a drop bar mountain bike race bike, but with that heritage, I bet it could work in that capacity, particularly if it has a suspension fork on it.
Yeah.
Particularly at Leadville. You said it has a mountain bike geometry though,
Yeah.
right? That would rock the hell out of Leadville. That would be it. Oh, they're keeping Pinarello out of Leadville. They don't want the Euros to win Leadville.
But the MX stands for Monster Cross. So
okay.
It's more of a, like you said, mixed surface. Pinarello has joined the suspension fork equipped gravel bike crowd with the MX, and the bike is fitted with a Fox suspension fork, blending mountain bike geometry numbers and equipment whilst prioritizing speed.
All right. Just for that, Spinistry is going to return to mountain bike racing this year, and drop bar mountain bikes will be allowed.
8,500 euros. You way overshot.
Okay.
Let me see. I want to see what size tires it accepts.
It's 50s that are on it.
Well, that's a gravel bike.
I understand. Yeah. It may take bigger, but what it comes from the factory with is 50s.
I'm just skimming the article. And
Understood.
I don't see. It's not.
No, I don't think it was meant. It's not built as a drop bar mountain bike. I wasn't implying that, but just for Pinarello to release anything like that is gobsmacking. Next thing you know, Colnago will, wouldn't it be cool if they did it in Thai and went back?
My gosh.
I might have to get divorced over that.
That's funny. This article is obviously a little old because it says the Leadville 100 is the first event that springs to mind. It's a race course. Yeah. Listen to this. It's a race with a course that often sees riders compete on XC mountain bikes fitted with drop handlebars and optimized for speed, just like last year's winner, Keegan Swinson, and also famously adopted early by Dylan Johnson. Riders essentially use exactly what we have in the Gravel XC.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and maybe that was the move. Maybe it was a cock block to keep Pinarello out of there. It's possible.
Seems a little cunty.
I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's the case. I don't know. They put the rule in for a reason.
Oh,
and they wrapped it in a pseudo safety concern that so far everyone I've heard from said, what safety issues? Haven't heard of any.
Oh, it has a 50 millimeter tire clearance. That's more gravel.
But it's very un-Pinarello.
Yeah. Well, Pinarello makes mountain bikes.
Understood.
Yeah. Let me see. The theme of blending road and mountain bikes continue with the fitting of a Mohs Talon ultralight carbon fiber integrated road handlebar. So, I don't know.
Yeah, the integrated handlebar is definitely a downside.
More of a gravel move.
But, very racer-esque, though.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I think it would be very cool to see a purpose-built drop bar mountain bike race rig.
Yeah.
That would be very cool to see.
Yeah, because all we've seen so far is people that have retrofitted a flat bar mountain bike with drop bars and compensated for it, like with the cockpit fit.
Or the gravel bikes that can take a 2.2 or more, and
which are arguably not racing gravel bikes.
And they're not racing drop bar mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Man, I would, and I don't know that we ever would see it at this point, because probably UCI doesn't allow it. UCI probably does. Oh yeah, they're going to have, well, I guess if it's a drop bar mountain bike, it may meet their retail requirements.
Mm-hmm. If it was a production
model. If it was a production model. But they probably have in their specs some rules that the drop bar mountain bike would not fit UCI standards. But that's just a guess. I don't know that for a fact. So if we were to put on a drop bar specific mountain bike race, what should that look like?
What if it was a mandatory?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Drop bars only. Drop bars only.
I think Nob Hill is a great course for drop bar mountain bike, personally.
Okay.
You could run a loop, obviously.
Is it endurance, or is it a classic sprint race, 3 laps or whatever else?
That's old school cross country, 3 laps.
Or I said, or whatever. Yeah.
I think you do like a 4-hour endurance, maybe. Or you could do the whole course. It would be even better. Remember the old school time trials?
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
Ooh, drop bar time trials.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be very fun.
Send them off in 1-minute intervals.
Yeah.
The old dirt dogs time trials,
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be very, very fun.
Because that would be a flat out sprint. It would be, you wouldn't have to worry about, feasibly, you wouldn't have to worry about traffic and, passing and everything. It'd be fun.
I like that. That's almost genius there, Brad.
I can quit today.
All right. So, we'll just call it Dirt Dogs Time Trials. Dirt Dog Drop Bar Time Trials.
I think it'd be fun.
And I think Nob Hills would be the right place to do it, so we can all roll over here afterwards for dinner.
I think that's a good. So Nob Hills is one of those courses that you could go out there and ride a full suspension mountain bike with all the gears and everything and have fun. But I think it's one of the trails in the DFW Metro Mess that is so fun to quote unquote underbike.
Mm-hmm.
I've ridden.
I think it's almost the ideal underbiking trail. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. I've ridden a gravel bike with 40s or 45s on there numerous occasions.
Right.
And you have to tiptoe through some sections.
You still have to know what you're doing.
Oh,
100%. It's not like, I think Nob Hills on drop bar is like more interesting, for example, than east side of North Shore on drop bars. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like riding east side of North Shore drop bars, but Nob Hills has just got that little bit more of technical challenge and less than sure-footedness underneath you that a little bit of mountain biking skill pays off on the drop bars, where, anybody that just pays attention to what they're doing can make it around North Shore east side on drop bars, and just have a couple spots where they might have to scramble a little bit, sort of thing. Nob Hills, you still have to hit everything the right way to begin with.
Yeah. But North Shore, to be honest, changes a lot more frequent than Nob Hills. I
do agree. I do agree with that.
The lines
again, I'm limiting to east side, true east side particularly.
I don't think that I would like. I've ridden my Fargo fully loaded, honestly, on the west side, just from Mad to Twin Coves, not the full west side.
Right.
It was on an exit. I was leaving to go home, to come home, when Josh Dean did the big loop, and I caught up with him and rode with him for a while. And I did the full east side and then left out from Mad on the west. And I was a little tired, way underbiked, and also by myself on like a morning weekday. So I was using a lot of caution, but it was very evident that it wasn't the machine for that. And that was years ago when the west side was arguably less technical than it is today. That being said, I haven't done a lot of West Side in the past year, probably. So, but I mean, my Fargo is technically a drop bar mountain bike.
It is.
And that's kind of the way I ride it. I love riding that thing on trail, but I love being in the drops, especially on technical sections. Part of the reason I moved the corner bars to the Chumba.
All right. So what qualifies as drop bars?
I think you have to have. Wait, what qualifies as drop bars?
For our drop bar mountain bike race at a mountain bike trail, would corner bars qualify as a drop bar?
No.
Okay.
Because you can still use flat bar shifters and flat bar brakes on it. I think
so we have to go. So we have to say drop bars with
drop bar shifters and
with a proper
drop bar
brakes, group set and brakes and everything.
Doesn't have to be a group set necessarily, but you need drop bar style levers.
Okay. Brakes and shifters.
Yeah.
Okay. No restriction on 1x versus 2x, I assume.
No, I wouldn't see why that would be even
any restriction on tire size.
I think we should set a minimum of 2.0.
2-inch minimum tires.
Yeah, because other than that, if you go less than that,
actual or stated.
I could say stated. We're gonna put mics on people's tires, but if you don't have the ability to run a 2.0, then it's not a mountain bike, as previously discussed. It's a gravel bike.
I'm on board with you so far. I'm just making sure. Any other rules that need to be in the mix?
I can't think of any offhand. I mean, I think you got to have drop bars. You've got to run drop bar style shifters. You have to have 2.0 or greater size tires. Like I would run like on my Fargo right now, I have 2.2s on there, still from the Brat. But the next set of shoes that's going on there is a 2.6, 2.35, my normal mullet kind of setup.
Mm-hmm.
So
one lap time trial?
I think so. I think
what determines starting order?
Oh, that's a good question. How did we do it back in Dirt Dogs days?
I don't know. Yeah. Chris and Feasible ran those.
Yeah.
I participated in a couple, but I don't remember how.
Well, I would think, and maybe this is asking too much of people, but I would think that without showing too many of your cards, I think most of the people that would be interested in entering this are going to go out and do a practice lap.
Okay.
And I think the majority of them use Ride with GPS or Strava or something like that. I think
anybody interested in this would be on Strava.
So I think you submit your time and then we go by.
Fastest qualifier goes first.
Yeah.
That way, which behooves you to put down the fastest qualifier that you can.
That way you don't. lap traffic. Not lap traffic, but
because if you sandbag, you're just shooting yourself in the foot at that point.
You're going to have to pass people. Yeah.
I like that idea.
I come up with good ones sometimes.
We're onto something here.
Yeah. I like that format.
I like it a lot.
I mean, and I would love it if a guy like Ben Hokamp would build up a drop bar mountain bike just to go out and kick everybody's ass, And I love for a guy like Austin Whittington to show up and put Ben Hokamp in his place,
I think early morning, a Saturday or Sunday in June is the right time to do this.
I think early morning June, you're going to have that place. It's going to be at sunup. The parking lot's going to be full.
Is it like that now?
Yeah. When it starts to get warm, people start getting out there early.
I understand.
I think like a Thursday evening or something.
Okay. But man, it's so hot until the sun goes down proper.
Yeah. And you definitely don't want to do it at night.
No.
I think logistically figuring out when is going to, because you're not going to be able to close.
I guess I was trying to push it to June to give people time to build something up.
Yeah, that's fair. Because we're about to get into cold weather and people are going to be tinkering in the garage. So,
all right. So the bike itself, it doesn't have to be a mountain bike frame, correct? Or does it have to be a mountain bike frame?
I think it just has to have the ability to accept 2.0 tires, front and rear. Yeah,
agreed.
Let's qualify that. Because anybody can slap a suspension fork on there and put a 2.2 on the front.
But if they can cram a 2-inch tire into.
Yeah, like if you had a Warbird or something like that, and you could cram a 2.0 in it, more power to you.
Okay.
or like a cutthroat that qualifies, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not a racer though, but you know,
I'd say it's racier than my Fargo.
I would almost put a bet down that a cutthroat wins it at this point, but I take that back. Austin's not going to be on a cutthroat.
I was just about to ask you, do you know something I don't know?
Tell you what, we'll have Austin tell us when we're doing this because I want him to be there.
100%. And I was just going to say, I mean, Ben Hokamp's not going to be on a cutthroat. Who else would throw their hat in the ring to be a contestant on that?
It'll be fascinating to find out. I think we're not going to get people from all over the world or anything like that, but I bet somebody from Austin comes up. I bet somebody comes down from Oklahoma, maybe even Kansas. I bet somebody from Louisiana comes. Not dozens of people, but one from here, one from there, a couple from that. I bet there's some New Mexico folks that might be interested in that.
That's a trek. It'll be fun though. And it would be fun if we could get, could get some traction on something like that to do like a 3-course series or something too. That would be fun.
Let's just do one.
Yeah, let's start with one. Always start with one.
Let's start with one.
That's my rule when I go fishing. My only thought process when I go fishing is let's catch one fish.
I like Knob Hills because it's my home trail, for lack of it. So it's convenient.
But it's a perfect trail.
I think it's the right trail for the task.
100%.
Quite frankly. No, I like this idea a lot. I wish we'd have had it sooner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We got plenty of time to throw this together. Anything I'm missing? What else? What else?
I'm trying to think if there's any other qualifiers that we should consider. Is there something we're overlooking that would make something?
Well, that does bring, so that would be to the detriment of somebody coming from Shreveport or Austin or something like that, because they may not have a chance to truly pre-ride it and set their qualifying time.
Well, then they get in where they fit in.
No, I understand. So how do we determine it at that point?
Now they're calling for 5 inches of snow on Saturday in Argyle. I know. You don't place any.
No. I'm fine because it's. So we're recording this the Monday before the Texas Chainring Massacre, and literally overnight the weather forecast just absolutely changed on us. I don't take much stock in weather this far out, but it's not looking.
Now they pushed the snow into Friday for Gainesville instead of just precip, and then 5 inches of snow in Gainesville as well. Okay. So
we
shall see.
We already have a contingency plan worked out. I'll announce it here because this probably won't be released.
This podcast won't come out until after Chainring Massacre should have occurred.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we have agreement from our host venue that if weather requires it, we're going to push it 1 week to the week of the 31st. 131 is our current backup plan. My original backup plan was going to be to push it to Sunday, but if it snows like that, that's not going to be gone by Sunday. And if the snow doesn't come, we're still going to hold it on the 24th. And I've been around this rodeo a few times, and
this ain't your first rodeo?
It ain't my first one. I have learned, no matter what the forecast, how dire it looks, until it actually happens, you can't take stock in it. I mean, we've pulled the plug on a couple of them where every model in the world was 100% in alignment. It looked like people would die if we sent them out there, and we shut it down, and everything's just perfect.
Yeah.
So it's happened before. I'm not pulling the plug until I'm convinced it's time to pull the plug, but we do have a viable backup plan in place. And if the backup needs a backup, we'll come up with another backup at that point, but we'll cross that bridge if we come to it, sort of thing.
And just like you mentioned, it's Monday currently.
Yep.
So by Wednesday, a full 48 hours from now, we'll have a much better idea of what's going to actually happen.
I expect by Wednesday night, I'll be very confident in whatever call I need to make at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. I'll be very confident if I have to pull the plug by Wednesday night.
Yeah.
if the weather's telling me to pull the plug, I'll pull the plug by Wednesday night. If the weather goes completely iffy at that point, which is the likely scenario, the Wednesday weather forecast is the reality is, oh, well, the snow could start Saturday morning or maybe Sunday afternoon, somewhere in there. And those are the ones that always get me. Those are the ones that bite me in the ass.
Yeah, because it could always move in quicker
or slower or whatever else. It's the timing that gets thrown off this far out.
Yeah.
That's what is the weather likely to happen? Probably. It's a matter of when does it happen, sort of thing.
And I'm in the same dilemma as you because I have an event scheduled too, and a dinner in which I have to shop and prep and get set up for. So
what, you don't just warm up things out of a box in the freezer?
Yeah.
Just like that's how every other restaurant does it.
Yeah, I'll get my Cisco delivery on Friday. I should do a Cisco dinner. Just offer a cut rate 9-course Cisco dinner, entry level.
Oh my! What percentage of restaurants are all serving the same food now?
So I watched. I didn't pay just absolute attention to it. I was admittedly on my phone ticking around and it was playing on the TV in the background, but this guy drove from pretty much coast to coast and ate at various levels of restaurants. And there was a couple of key menu items that he targeted in on, and they were all Cisco brand products. So basically what he was saying is, in a nutshell, you could drive across the country and you could get the same mozzarella sticks, the same fried pickle spears, the same, like he named off like 10 or 12 different pre-prepared, frozen, delivered products that people just take out, thaw out, cook, and serve. That, when I think of this stuff, I think of like TGI Fridays and Chili's and, like these mass chain restaurants that all have the same kind of bar food, fried, snackish stuff. And he got into, on the latter end, he explored the opposite of that, like the small restaurant that cuts their own, French fries and breads their own onion rings and stuff like that. And they were talking about just the storage of it and the cycling of it, because that stuff is fresh and you have to use it within a certain time, whereas you're only limited to your freezer space when you're dealing with these other items, and they don't truly have an expiration date in the sense that fresh food does.
Right.
You could keep a bag of onion rings in your freezer for 2 months and they're still going to be as quote unquote good as they were the day you got them. So it's become an economical thing from a purchasing standpoint, from a labor perspective, and from a consistency standpoint.
Sure.
So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. But that's why I choose, the old adage, vote with your dollars. That's why I try not to patronize any chain restaurants if I can avoid it. First of all, I want to give money to the mom and pop places. I want to go to the places where people are putting more care and love into their food instead of mass producing it, opening a bag, throwing fries in a fryer, putting them in a basket and sending them out, and it doesn't need to be where you're cutting your own French fries. It's something as simple as, so when I worked at Castle Hills, and this was a very brief fad moment, but we did, fresh chopped herbs. We did parsley, thyme, rosemary, and we would toss our French fries right when they came out of the fryer with sea salt and fresh herbs. It's a nice touch. It's still a pre-frozen fried product, but it was a nice touch. It elevated
it up.
Yeah.
Took it up a level.
It's putting a little more care into what you're serving, given the capabilities that if you would have saw the kitchen that we worked out of when I was at Castle Hills, you'd be like, how did y'all do anything out of here? But it's all about elevating what you can do within the ability of your space and your people, your staff, but I think a lot of business models, especially when I think of chain restaurants, when I think about this, they don't want to spend all this time training staff because turnover is so high. and the labor pool is so. And so how do you create a consistent product? You buy something that's already pre-manufactured, you heat it and you serve it. But the problem is they're charging you a premium for something
that's
yeah.
That's my problem with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not my problem because I vote with my dollar as well, and I don't frequent those establishments.
Yeah.
I'm not even generous. I can't think of the last time I went to anything like that. And the consistency aspect of it, that is the one part I do buy into. Like we were talking rodeo goat burgers earlier. That's one of the benefit of their gourmet burgers. Brad and I had a discussion about what's the best burger in Texas. And we're not saying rodeo goat is, but
McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
We both agree, don't mind having a rodeo goat burger.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll take one.
Hell yeah. But the consistency is also part of it. It doesn't taste exactly the same every time, but it's comparable quality every time.
But they generally care for their burger more than, I would say, more than the place we had lunch at today.
I wouldn't.
They put a lot. Yeah. I'm not going to call any names.
No,
I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying the consistencies comes with the care and attention.
Yeah.
You know? So, but to take it even one step further with the chain restaurant thing, when we were headed up to Mena to Adam's place, we stopped at Chili's. Was it Chili's? I think it was Chili's. I could be wrong. But what was even more depressing is now they have these little, I want to call it a tablet, but it's more of like a little stand that's on your table. So they're encouraging you not only to order from that, they're also encouraging you to pay from that. So they're trying to eliminate the servers or limit the amount of servers they have to have on staff. It's basically like the self-checkout at the grocery store. Yeah, they're conditioning the general public to utilize less labor.
I understand that.
That's another reason I don't do self-checkout at the grocery store, because I want to continue to go through the checkout lane and have a person check me out, just so I show the importance of we need people.
Well, that's why I get cigarettes every time I go through, because then they have to serve.
Yeah, that's true. You a soft pack or a hard pack guy? Winston's?
Winston 100 Light. Yeah. Winston Light 100.
Soft pack, right?
Soft pack.
Yeah. I've never understood, like, why would you want a soft pack versus a hard pack? You're going to crush or break your cigarettes. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? They don't cost more to get them in a hard pack.
Well, because the hard pack the box is always the same size. After you take a couple loosies out of the soft pack, it fits in the shirt pocket a little better.
I used to work with this old black man, and he opened his from the bottom because his hands were always dirty.
Okay.
So he could grab it by the tobacco end and then stick the clean end in his mouth.
Filter in his mouth.
Yeah. I was like, that's pretty smart. That's why he bought soft packs.
Okay.
But
I don't argue with that logic.
I never understood the appeal of the soft pack.
And no, I don't smoke anymore.
Me neither.
It was a joke.
Me neither. But if I did, it would be Camel Crushes. They always come in a hard pack.
Okay.
So, no, I'm a candy cigarette kind of guy nowadays.
Are you?
That's how they conditioned us to smoke cigarettes as kids too. Like we should all do a class action lawsuit that
no, I'm pretty sure it's the 2 packs a day my dad smoked that got me addicted to nicotine from the time I was a baby on. But
so you think that hit your nicotine receptors and created an addiction on a neurological, is that the right word?
No.
Because I would think so my mom has never smoked a cigarette because she was so disgusted by her father smoking cigarettes in the vehicle with the windows rolled all the way up.
Right.
She hated it. She wanted to get away from it every time. And so she vowed to never smoke. So, but I wonder if you could get secondhand smoke and get a nicotine absorption.
Secondhand nicotine addiction, or I would bet it's a nicotine tolerance more so than an addiction sort of thing would be my guess.
I want some of that secondhand heroin. That's what I want. I don't want to inject, but if I can get that heroin high just sitting next to you.
It's called puke, okay?
Oh. Did you check out the baby changing station at the place?
I didn't know I looked. There was a big baby. Was I supposed to look?
A puddle of puke in it.
I didn't
I was literally looking at that as I was opening the door, and I saw you, and I go, check out the baby changing station. That just kept moving.
I didn't look closely. I just saw a big baby. It's like, no, I didn't. Thank God I didn't.
I guess your vantage point is a little lower than mine. I saw over the edge and saw the puke, and I was like, oh goodness,
baby puke or non-baby puke?
Oh, it looked like it had too much solids in it to be a true baby. They were not on formula. It was gross. How did we get off a mic so bad?
All we talk about is bicycles. That's the only topic of discussion.
So where's the best burger joint that you can ride your bike to? Who was it? Tim Love used to have a burger joint. What was his burger joint called?
Love Shack, wasn't it?
Love Shack. Is that still around?
I don't know that for a fact.
Because the one that's off the Trinity, you could definitely ride your bike.
It's still there?
No, you could definitely ride your bike there. I don't know if it's still there.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that it's still there. That was a good one to ride a bike
burger.
That was a good burger to ride a bike
You could ride your bike to Fred's.
You could ride your bike to Rodeo Goat. So
yeah, it's right around the corner. Yeah.
There's Rodeo Goat on the trails in Dallas. There's the Rodeo Goat in Fort Worth you could get to. I've
literally ridden my bike to this Rodeo Goat that's over here at Wind River.
I didn't know there was a Rodeo Goat. Never been there.
Yeah. You know where the Cinemark is? You know where Chewy's is off of 35?
Yeah.
There's a Rodeo Goat right across that road.
There's another one at that
Unicorn Lake or whatever that
lake over at Coppell that used to have the gravel trail around it. That I think they've paved it all now. It's the old Interstate Batteries place that they built a big old development of office buildings and Cypress Waters. That's what they call it.
Oh, is that where we stopped that day when we were riding?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cypress Waters. That's right.
There's a Rodeo Goat there. So it's a Rodeo Goat. You can, not brought to you by Rodeo Goat, but if they want to throw us a gift card or two, I'll take it.
I think the first one I ever ate at was the one in Rockwall, which was much larger than the other Rodeo Goats I've been to. Although all of them are fairly expansive.
I will say Whataburger has subsided in its quality.
They used to be so much better.
Yeah.
Now I feel like an asshole when I stand up for Whataburger, because their quality's gone downhill, and it seems like their wait times have actually increased.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: you can still get a malt at Whataburger.
I mean,
the malt is waning.
I agree. That said, Whataburger is still better than most fast food burgers out there right now. Most.
I'm going to catch a lot of hate mail for this, but I'm a big fan of In-N-Out.
I don't hate them.
Once again, consistency, never frozen.
I will
hand cut French fries.
I will give In-N-Out the top star for consistency. It's you can depend on.
As far as fast food chain restaurant burgers, I think that In-N-Out is in the discussion, if not in the top 5.
Oh, I'm definitely in the discussion. No doubt about that. I'm definitely in the top 5 as well. Whether they're number 1 or not,
I wouldn't go that far. But there's not a lot of contenders.
There's not a lot.
I mean, McDonald's is in the same category, but they're not even on the same discussion, You know
who actually does have a decent burger on the Arby's burger is not shabby.
I can't talk Arby's.
I
This
understand.
is disgusting.
I'm just.
Me and one of my buddies, we always went through these silly food discussions, and Arby's is one of the ones that always sticks out. Like their roast beef sandwiches, and everybody's had an Arby's roast beef sandwich for the most part, especially if you're in my age bracket. Arby's was a staple back then with the horsey sauce and all that. But if you look at their roast beef, it has this iridescent shimmer to it, but that's not the most remarkable thing. It has the little air bubbles in it, like it was made into a paste and then spread on something, and then that's the way it's made. And we used to always joke that it was made into like a puree paste and then spray foam. And that's the way it looks like that. And so every time I think of Arby's, I think of that.
Okay. I don't disagree with that logic.
And ever since James Earl Jones quit being their campaign voice, Arby's, we have the meats.
He died.
I understand. His voice didn't die.
Okay. Well,
but I feel like they were already falling off at that point. And then after he perished, they just off the cliff.
Okay. But
just my opinion.
maybe they've bounced off the bottom of the cliff now. I'm not saying Arby's is the greatest fast food in the world. I'm just saying
I can't tell you the last time I had an
a
Arby's
surprisingly decent burger.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Can you get a malt at Arby's?
Probably not, but I don't know that. They have one of those convoluted menus now.
Yeah.
It's one of those places.
Like Jack in the Box?
I don't do Jack in the Box.
Yeah. No.
That doesn't, I don't do Taco Bell. I don't do Jack in the Box.
I don't drink enough to eat Jack in the Box.
Mm.
It's like Taco Bell. It's great when you're drunk. The sober person would never choose to eat there.
Is Five Guys fast food?
Do they have a drive-thru?
Not that I know of.
Not fast food.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
That's fine.
Order, it's counter service. You order at the counter, you go sit down, they call your name, you come get it.
Right, so Jersey Mike's is not fast food.
Do they have a drive-thru?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, that's your quality. That's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
I think fast food has to have a drive-thru. And I'm leery of sit-down restaurants that have a drive-thru as well. Like, and I'm going to get killed on this one. But what's the tortilla place that everybody raves about? Rosa's. They have a drive-thru.
Yes, they do.
But you sit down I've never been to Rosa's, so I have to say.
Okay.
But I've always steered clear of it because of those two things. It's a sit-down, but they have a drive-thru.
Okay.
Which screams borderline fast food to me.
Okay. So Pollo Regio is fast food.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. When they've got a drive-thru.
Understood.
You go in, you order at the counter, they call your name.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I consider fast food equates drive-thru.
Okay.
You can pull up, order, get it, take it.
I would agree that if it has a drive-thru, that automatically qualifies it as fast food. But I'm going to say it doesn't have to have a drive-thru.
Here's the caveat: every Whataburger in the nation has a drive-thru, but I would dare call it fast food because it is never fucking fast.
We were going to get there, but good job. You segued that perfectly.
I have waited in a Whataburger drive-thru for 20 minutes on many occasions.
But it used to be worth the wait.
Yeah, but at least they're not just grabbing it out of the heat lamp, throwing it in a bag.
There is that. There is that. Even though Whataburger's quality isn't what it was, at least it is still fresh.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Yeah. It's not fast though. Even when you dine in, it's not fast. But I think that's a product that's probably a pre-COVID even thing. But I think it's a labor and staffing issue more than what their corporate entities want them to focus on quality. I think it has to do with labor shortages, honestly.
Are you talking Whataburger specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why it's slow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing the generic corporate shift of selling out, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know things have definitely changed on Whataburger since they switched hands.
Yeah.
But that could be just, more of what so much of a labor shift and a requirement shift on this post-COVID era or whatever, for whatever reasons, and however it all shakes out. But yeah.
If Whataburger made bikes, what would they be?
If Whataburger made bikes, they
maybe Surly
would no,
because it's consistent, ubiquitous.
Wouldn't be Surly.
Not super expensive.
It would be a state bicycle.
Okay, but then Whataburger
Surly's not a drive-through. It's not fast food. You got to go to the bike shop and get it.
You can order them online.
Oh, you can order them direct. Yeah. Oh, they sell direct now.
I think you can. Maybe you have to go through a bike shop even when you order it online.
It's a QBP. You're going to have to go through a bike shop.
That's true.
So I'm going to say no because they don't have a drive-through.
Okay, but then Whataburger will do, much like McDonald's brings back the McRib. Whataburger will do the honey mustard chicken sandwich or something like that, where they kind of throw out the specials.
They're seasonals.
Yeah.
They're seasonals.
Yeah.
Well. Now,
just a thought process.
I'll tell you something. Now, here's something that varies from. It's amazing the difference between a Texas Chick-fil-A and an Alabama Chick-fil-A.
In what way?
How damn good the food is.
Huh. Well, I've noticed that Dairy Queens are very regional too.
Dairy Queens are. I'm not going to go into a Dairy Queen conversation.
Stand by. I've got a really quick call back to malts. A quick trip to my mother. I'm going to make this story as quick as possible.
Yeah, take your time.
We're in Mississippi. We have nothing to do. I drove on her back on Saturday following Christmas. We get there at 6 o'clock or something. We had already eaten. We stopped in Shreveport on the way there to eat at Herbie K's. Not as good as it used to be. Whole nother story. We get there and we're sitting around and neither one of us are really hungry. And I go, but I could really go for some ice cream. And I go, I would love a malt. It's about 7:40 at this point. So there's a famous staple in Natchez, Mississippi called the Malt Shop. We drive over there, looked on the website first and it said they close at 8:30. No problem. Drive over there. We get there at like 8:05 or something, 8:10 at the latest. Everybody's still there. We pull up to the drive-through and he goes, oh, we're closed. Didn't even ask what I wanted. What if I just wanted a cone pulled out of the machine? Kind of irritated me. And my mom goes, well, we could go to Sonic. I bet they have malts. We get there. They didn't have a malt. So I got a shake, chocolate shake. No big deal. So the next day we're sitting around and I go, I still have my malt itch. I want a chocolate malt. She goes, well, we can go to Dairy Queen. So we get to Dairy Queen, order. Oh, we just ran out of malt powder or malt syrup or whatever they use. And I go, okay, well, let me shift. I'm going to have a Blizzard. So I ordered a Chico stick and Reese's peanut butter cup Blizzard, something like that. This is where the astounding part comes. She served me a Blizzard with a lid on it and didn't even turn it upside down. Isn't that against industry standards as far as Dairy Queen goes?
You have to turn it upside down.
I thought it was free if you didn't turn it upside down.
I don't know about that. I never heard that.
That's the thing I've always heard. We'd have to ask Joey Pratt.
We will have to.
I bet Pratt knows.
I bet he does.
But I was astounded. Not only did she not invert it, but she put a lid on. I've never been served a Blizzard with a lid on it.
I think I have, but I'm not positive. It's been a long time since I ordered a Blizzard.
It's a road trip staple for me, but you road trip a lot more than I do. I couldn't eat them. I couldn't.
I'm usually traveling with somebody, so they really don't want me to have ice cream in my gut.
That's fair. That's fair. But I was astounded.
That said, when we do the California tube trip, date shake is right at the top of my list. I will be getting a date shake.
Where was it? I had a chocolate cake shake. And they literally take a piece of cake.
I've had that.
Put it in a blender.
I've had that somewhere. I can't remember where that was.
They're known for it. I can't remember. Chocolate cake shake.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There's no telling.
Yeah.
There's no telling.
So back to bikes. Let's bring it back to bikes.
Let's talk bikes.
So Chainring Massacre. Big snowy event. You gonna run a fat tire edition? Run a 20?
Well, all right.
30-mile fat tire course.
So I mean, you saw the roads that we're running today.
Beautiful. They're in such good shape. Fast.
Realistically, if I mean, obviously, if they're glazed in ice, it's a different story. But even if they were covered in snow, you could pound those on 45s, 47s, cut through the snow.
Yeah, you could get to that bed, and
it's not going to be sloppy.
No, because it's going to be too cold. It's going to be too cold to be sloppy.
Because it's, okay, so that's the thing.
The high that day is
25. So you're saying 5 inches of snow in the forecast now, but it was the friggin' temperatures.
Yeah.
Not in the single digits overnight and not above freezing during the day, right?
So the low on Friday morning or Saturday morning is going to be 18 degrees. And then it gets up to a balmy 23 degrees. And then it just continues to drop from there. And in the wee hours of the morning on Sunday, it's going to be 9 degrees.
Good God.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
Well, if that happens, even though we've traditionally had the Texas Chainring Massacre in January, almost every year but one, this would be the first one that would actually be weather delayed since the first one.
There's a 1% chance of snow in Gainesville today. 1%.
1%. So now our first Texas Chainring Massacre was actually snowed out, but you want to know what the date for that one was? It was 2010. So our first event was we did our Red River Riot on January 23rd in 2010. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what has now become our Texas Chainring Massacre weekend. After the popularity of the Ska Decadent, and everybody said we got to do this again. Don't know who that is. So we scheduled a second event that was going to be gravel specific, and it was going to be oriented for the racers, and we were going to have a cash payout. That was the origins of the Texas Chainring Massacre. And we were going to do that on March 21st, 3, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 3.
2011?
2010.
2010.
And March 21st, of 2010, that was actually snowed out. We had something like 10 inches of snow overnight the night before. And that's the only event of ours that's ever been snowed or iced out.
Really?
And then that one got pushed until May. But since then, every year after that, we've had Texas Chainring Massacre in January, and we've never had snow. We've never had ice. We've had a couple that were cold but dry. We've had a few that were wet from rain, but the temperatures were actually nice. If we actually get ice and snow, that'll be the first. And I'm just saying that because everyone's always giving me hell for hosting it in January, and the weather going to be so crappy. And this will actually be the only time since 2010 that's potentially a factor. We'll see. And it could still go sideways and not be an issue.
It could always go sideways.
No doubt about that. So, and you've got a dinner that night too. Is it fair to say if the weather comes through like they're saying there?
I've got to be preemptive. That's my problem and my dilemma at this moment is I have to figure out before I go shopping whether or not it's going to happen. Because I could either prep for it to happen, for the dinner to happen, and then everybody bail because they're worried about the travel conditions and everything, which is understandable. Or I could not prep and cancel it and end up in the same dilemma where I lose my customers and then the weather's beautiful. So mine's going to be kind of a Wednesday decision as well. It's tough. I don't.
But you can't wait till Wednesday night. You have to know what you're doing Wednesday morning, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. There's no way for you to push to Thursday morning to start doing stuff.
Not to shop.
No. I'm just making sure I understand.
The other thing is Paula's out of town starting tomorrow. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she's out of town. I've got to pick her up Thursday evening. So that means I've got to interrupt my prep work to go pick her up from the airport. So if I was going to shop and organize and start prep on Thursday into Friday, that might make things a little difficult.
No, I understand. You could send one of your sons to go pick her up at the airport.
That's true. I could.
I could send my son to go pick her up at the airport.
No, part of it is I want to pick her up at the airport.
That makes all the sense in the world.
I'm not trying to push that off on somebody else. For what it's worth, she could Uber from the airport, but I love picking my wife up from the airport. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That is a warm hug.
Y'all even make it out of the parking lot? Okay.
You'd be surprised where you can pull off at the airport. But no, I enjoy picking her up from the airport. And I love, so we talk about how effed up construction is in Dallas, but the DFW airport has got to be one of the easiest airports to get in and out of.
And it has been since day one.
Yeah, it's so user friendly. And it boggles my mind that people get bewildered by the layout of the Dallas airport. And I'm like,
it's unique. It's different than anything else out there. But once you do it once, it's a piece of cake.
Like it's just a bunch of clover leaves.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It seems super user friendly to me.
Yeah. So sometimes some of them merging over with the dumbasses that don't want to.
Look, if we put a caveat on everything because of dumbasses, I mean, my street would be difficult to navigate.
I mean, that. It was like I said earlier. That's the main issue I'm concerned about as far as if we do have the weather. It's not so much about me being able to get there to put it on, or other people being able to ride their bikes in the snow, or what. It's just dealing with dumbasses out on the road in those conditions. I'm not going to put anyone through that.
I agree wholeheartedly. But that being said, if it does snow and I don't have a dinner, I am 100% going to ride my bike without a doubt.
You still have your fat bike, right? Or
Nope.
no, you got rid of the fat bike.
I sold the fat bike.
Okay.
But 2.6, 2.35, especially as dry as I anticipate all of this being, won't be a problem. He didn't even see us.
Nope, he ignored.
No, he's just walking past us oblivious. That's a good kid right there.
What's that uniform?
Robeson Ranch. He's a server at Robeson Ranch.
Okay.
He's a good kid.
Good.
My garage is still in its beautiful state.
I see bikes.
Yeah. There's bikes.
How's the motorcycle doing?
Don't care. I'm hoping that he sells it. He said he's going to wait till the spring to sell it.
Okay.
So, you want to hear what his new venture is?
I'm all ears.
Precision rifles. He wants to shoot 1,000 yards.
Okay.
So he's in the process of speccing out a precision rifle. It's kind of like building a custom bike, you know, where you pick your headset and you pick your wheels and your hubs. And
how did he get turned on to this?
Man, that's a good question. I really don't know. We were watching, I don't know if this is where it started, if this was the catalyst, but this was the first time we had a conversation. We were watching that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, Ambulance.
Don't know it.
It's not the greatest, but it's a crime caper, you know, where they try to pull off this big heist and everything goes sideways. But there's a standoff shootout thing, and they're shooting these tactical guns and stuff. And he started going, "What kind of gun is that?" And we paused it and looked it up and started talking about it and stuff. And then because that was when we were in Natchez, and on the ride back, he started telling me, "I want to build up a gun. I want to be able to shoot 1,000 yards." And then he's just straight down the rabbit hole, all the way to the point of wanting to start figuring out how to reload rounds and set up a reloading and all. I mean, but that's how he is. He goes completely head over heels into something and searches out all the information he can find. He's a very intelligent researcher.
So the motorcycle's going up for sale in the spring, supposedly.
That's the word around the campfire.
What was that? What was that progression for him? Why is that not in his wheelhouse anymore, so to speak?
I think he's just gotten a lot more sensible. And not to say that motorcycle riders aren't sensible, but this is
a tough place to ride a motorcycle.
It is a tough place to ride a motorcycle, and it's dangerous without traffic.
Right.
And we've already covered the traffic aspect.
Yeah.
But especially when you have I don't even know the word, but the temperament of me and my kids, I know what I would do on that motorcycle. And that's the reason I've never ridden a motorcycle. I would just keep going faster and faster and faster until something broke, the bike or me, you know? But I'm at least intelligent
aware
enough to know that that's probably not the best thing for me. And I think it was a slow learning curve for him. He started out, he wanted a motorcycle when we sent him to fabrication school out in Rancho Cucamonga.
I'm about to say, and that's California, makes sense to get that bug. There's no doubt about that.
So he bought a motorcycle because he wasn't living at the house with us. He could do what he wanted. And he bought a motorcycle there, got shysted on it, paid way too much, rode the crap out of it. It worked out perfect because the Yukon that we had left him with started having transmission issues. So at least he had a backup vehicle, even though he was doing it illegally, because he still had his learner's permit, which in California, I don't know how it is in other states, but At that time, you weren't supposed to ride after dark and you weren't supposed to ride on highways and interstates. He was doing both because he was working at Canes as well. And he ended up, we have Life 360 on him, just peace of mind,
Sure.
Especially living in California, so we can make sure he got to school and got back. And I'll never forget, I was laying in bed one day, and we knew he was riding his motorcycle all the time. I was laying in bed one day and I get this notification that Gage Addison has maybe had a crash, and my heart, just like you think, just sank, because I know he's on his motorcycle. I know they're white line in California and everything. And I tried to call him, no answer, and my heart sank even further. I tried to call him again and no answer. And so Paula's in the back room and I come back to her and she's on a call. She puts it on mute and she goes, I got the same notification, and she is in restrained tears as well. And it seemed like forever, but I get a call from him and he goes, I'm fine. I just want to let you know, I got in a wreck. He was like 3 miles from school. It was a long story, but he ended up rear-ended somebody. They had their blinker on to get over. And so he was going this way, and they had their right blinker on, and they changed back into the left lane. He ran into the back of them. It totaled his bike. He suffered minor injuries, luckily, bruised his sternum and stuff. But then he had to have his bike towed to school because it was the closest place. And it was right before Christmas break. Parked it behind the building, came home, got back, and his bike was gone. Somebody had stolen it. And I was like, good riddance.
Right.
So he went and filed a police report and all that stuff. And then they caught the guy riding his motorcycle, and he got it back before I went and picked him up to come home. That's why we carried it all the way back
when you
here.
Carried it back.
Yeah. And it had JB Weld. I mean, you talk about a Frankenbike.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. That was what he sold and then bought this.
Bought that.
Yeah.
So what he was lane splitting when the guy came over on him? Is that what happened? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
they called him at fault because he rear-ended
They would call him at fault, even though
if he had a dash cam,
he may have,
because that guy had his right blinker on
Right.
and changed into the left lane. But
understood.
I'm just,
And I'm not
Yeah.
pointing. It's like that was the first thing that went through my head, because I understand what you're saying is the other cars caused the accident by doing that. And it's just, I think lane splitting is going to be one of those things you're always going to be in the wrong if something happens while you're lane splitting, would be my guess.
and make zero mistakes about it. I'm not saying my son is always right, and I'm not even saying I was on his side at that incident. But it seems to me from everything you told me, and he has no reason to lie to me, and he never has. Yeah. But it seems to me that guy was at fault, but
Right.
anytime you rear end somebody, I know in the state of Texas,
Right.
it's your fault. I mean, somebody could literally back into you, and if you don't have a dash cam, it's your fault. So I think if he would have had a dash cam, he probably could have proved otherwise, but it was his word against this guy. So who knows?
I won't hurt my feelings if he gets rid of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And
it's just collecting dust, which makes me sad happy, because it's just sitting there doing nothing. But
it's a pretty bike.
It is a pretty bike. And he's done a lot of upgrades to it, just to make it more street looking. He did a blinker relief or signal, a delete where it goes, puts them on the side instead of out, on post and stuff. And he changed out the exhaust and relocated the license plate to where it's tucked under, made it real streamlined, sexy looking compared to what it was, and I actually got to help him work with it, which was cool. But every time he rode it, I was super scared. I mean, and I'm not as much in that box as his mom is. So, yeah.
I understand completely.
Yeah. It makes me happy that it's sitting there getting dusty. But at the same rate, I'm like, why don't you? That's your precision rifle right there, plus some.
So does he have shooting background already, or is this just a whole new thing for him from the get-go?
Yeah.
So what makes you go, I want to shoot 1,000 yards to start out?
It's definitely an interesting spot to start.
We need to get him trained up for the rat. No telling what he would do.
Oh, he is a beast. Cross country running and all that stuff, but he just doesn't, the bike has never appealed to him. And it's one of those things, like I did it and I've always done it. I think he wants his own thing.
Sure.
Oh,
no, I get that. I get that completely. I get that. I'm not saying That said, I do wholeheartedly believe if more people gave riding a bicycle an opportunity, it would be amazing the number of people that got into it.
Oh,
it's like Gage just watching a video and getting into the idea of precision rifles. If somebody just that first ride through the woods on a mountain bike trail, it's like, oh my God.
So I think part of it to me was, I did the same thing on a BMX bike when I was a kid. There was trails right behind our house. And so it was, as a child, especially in the 80s, your bicycle was your freedom.
Sure. Sure.
And I think as you become a driver, and you kind of let the bike go, as a lot of people do, you get further and further removed from that sense of freedom. You're going with the flow, you're stopping and starting at traffic lights and stop signs and stuff. You're basically instructed what to do. Whereas on a bike, you get on it, you can turn left, you can turn right. You can follow the route that's on your computer, or you can go, what's down this road? There's a new freedom to be had on bicycles. And I think a lot of people don't quite understand that until you kind of put that into place, but the first time, I remember the first time I rode a single speed, even like on a trail, I bought that Bianchi Bass,
Puss, all sorts of SS's.
Yeah. I bought that and I took it to, I think it was literally like one of the first, I think it was the origin of TNSS. It was when I met Flea there. And we rode, and it was a Tuesday, and I go, is there more guys here that ride single speeds? And he's like, sometimes we sit around and, afterwards and drink a couple of beers or whatever. And I go, well, we should do it more regularly, and that was, I think, the first time I ever rode that Bianchi at RCP. And then from then on, it was every Tuesday, and it was like 3 or 4 people, and then it was 6 people and 8 people. And then it was.
Are you saying you created TNSS?
That's not what I'm.
That's what I heard.
That's
what I heard.
I was there when it started.
Okay.
I didn't say I started it.
Okay.
So
who else was there? Was you and Flea?
Flea is the main one I remember. I don't know. I really don't know. Who else?
I had never heard that story before, so
I'm not making it up.
I'm not saying I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing. I've never heard that story before.
I will take credit for this. When I first started attending, or when TNSS first started, everybody was drinking like Michelob Ultra, not Ultras, but Michelob Darks or Michelobs or Coors Light or Miller Lite or whatever. And I started bringing like tasty beers.
Mm-hmm.
This whole group didn't know anything about tasty beers. I was like, you should try this. And I would bring different beers all the time. You should try this. And then it became a beer sharing experience, which was another level of cool, because people would show up with
beers.
Another
level of dipshittery, depending on where you want to go.
But people would show up with beers that you hadn't tasted, and you would trade beers and stuff. Be like, oh, I haven't tasted that. I'll trade you one of these or whatever. And that was back in, like, Sierra Nevada was a craft beer back then,
It was a craft beer back then.
But none of those guys had ever tried it. And I brought Sierra Nevada, and I was like, you guys should at least try this, So I do take credit for that.
Okay.
The craft beer movement in the TNSS cycling group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ben invented mountain biking. You invented beer. I like it. I like it a lot.
I never said I invented beer.
I think we've had a productive day today.
It was fun. I enjoyed scouting. Food was it was food.
It was calories.
Yeah.
Actually, the okra wasn't terrible.
That was the highlight. The onion rings were pretty, but they were somewhat flavorless. I find it hard to describe. Underseasoned. How about that?
I would go with that.
But the roads, man, the roads were in great shape. I was very surprised that they were in such good shape, like consistently in good shape. I would have been more anticipating some good roads, some bad roads.
Understood.
They were all just
like I said before, traditionally this time of year, that's most of the time that's been our experience with those roads through there, and that's part of the appeal of
Tarrant County whoops the shit out of Montague.
Tarrant, Cook County.
Cook County, yeah.
Okay,
them too.
All right, I am gonna go home and see my lovely bride.
Yeah, you're not gonna ride in this wind.
I'm not gonna ride in this wind.
Are you gonna what's that? Zwift it? Oh, you don't use Zwift now. What do you use?
I use Training Peaks Virtual.
Does that still have the screen like you're chasing somebody and stuff?
It's a Zwift type environment.
Okay.
A little more realistic, but same general idea.
So it looks like you're riding a bike. You have a visual of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like you're riding a cartoon bike with cartoon people.
Same thing with Zwift. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because when I see people post their Zwift rides, it's a course or a screenshot of said environment. But when I see people post Training Peaks, it's just a graph of their intervals and stuff. So it never seems,
well,
it seems more regimented and training based. Obviously, it's in the name.
And they may not be. Are they posting Training Peaks virtual rides, or are they just posting their Training Peaks workout in general? That could be two different things. So
not a clue.
Understood. Training Peaks virtual is the simulated riding program available to Training Peaks subscribers that use Training Peaks to keep track of their data. But
do you still do it on a bike?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like Zwift, same thing as Zwift, but
Yeah.
it's a different program.
Mm-hmm.
It's a better program, some would say, but just
hot take.
Yeah. Specialized, Trek, Coke, Pepsi, Zwift, Training Peaks virtual.
I don't have an argument in the Coke Pepsi game.
Dr. Pepper.
I'm more of a Dr. Pepper guy. If I'm going to reach for a soda, it's a Dr. Pepper or a good old fashioned Barks.
I'm a fan of the root beers.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the root beers.
But Barks is the only root beer with bite.
Well, that's good to know.
You know why that is, though?
Why is that?
Because every other root beer on the market has no caffeine. Barks has caffeine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the only root beer with bite.
Okay.
Well, go ride your virtual bike.
Go ride your bike for real.
Yeah. Well, I've got a lot of stuff to do. I got to go get Paula an HDMI cable, and I have to get dimmers installed on 3 lights because now that we've changed them out, they're way too bright.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn this off now.